Coach, if you could point to one thing, the reason why you guys were able to pull this one out, what would it be?
Heart. That was it. Things weren't necessarily going our way, but down the stretch, each guy made a key play that showed how much it meant to him. There were offensive rebounds that we came up with. There were guys that with courageous threes. Obviously the defense to get those stops, and that all comes down to your heart and your physical toughness and the collective way that they did it.
How crucial was what Lauri was able to do on both ends of the floor to this win?
It was, we don't win without the performance that Lauri had tonight. To ask him to go and guard Jokic on one end and try to make it as difficult on him as possible, and then carry a heavy burden on the offensive end for us. There's no way we're in this position if Lauri doesn't have the performance he had tonight.
And I know you guys practice this, at shoot around plenty, but that defensive play where Evan comes over to help Jokic to help Lauri when Jokic had the ball with 30 seconds left to force that turnover. Like, how big was that play? And also just the timing of Evan, being a rookie and being able to do that. Like, what does that say?
Well, I mean, it's, that guys are coachable and they're learning. And not only did he go, but he was protected, which helped in turn to force the turnover, excuse me. So it's like, we always talk about, our chain of responsibility defensively and what we ask our big guys to do and protect the rim and then go and help on drives. And then the next person has to come and protect them. So that was a picture perfect of it.
Kelsey was the athletic. JB, we talked before you about the mental aspect of it all. What about this game is like an example of that having that the mental part of it all, or be able to pull this one out?
Well, I think the way we started the game, I thought our starters came out really set the tone early. And then again, when we needed them, we relied on them heavily in that second half as well. And, you get yourself down 5, and that's difficult to overcome in an overtime period. But, the mental piece is, what do you do when times are difficult? And I thought our guys tonight, time and time again, proved, that when things get hard, they're going to continue to scrap. They're going to continue to fight. And, that's why we were able to win.
What was if was there a message, I guess, like when the game ended, you had right before the overtime started, just kind of because sort of set the bracket 0 about approaching the overtime and like period and just how to go about it?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to win it the hard way. And it wasn't going to be easy. We knew that. But, the scrap, the loose balls, the contact, the physicality, like we were going to have to win it that way. And I thought, again, our guys did that tonight.
Joe, did you guys coach feel like Karis LeVert obviously didn't shoot the ball well, but you start to see him
and it's tough, having been out at this point in the year when there's not a lot of practices to play a bunch of 5-on-5 and catch your rhythm. And, he was coming right out of the break. So we had all that time off as well. But you saw down the stretch what he was capable of, both sides of the ball, his ability to get to the paint, his ability to make plays offensively. And then he has the ability to guard multiple positions out there as well.
And then you asked who won the chain tonight and what did you do to win?
We went old school today, Kevin Love. I thought, there was times and moments where, we needed to finish possessions. And he figured out a way to get through contact and come up with the ball for us. I thought he showed and he led, through his toughness and his physicality and in the trenches. And so we gave it to him tonight.
Mac Robinson, 92 through the fan. JB, earlier in the year, I asked you about, how impressed you were with the IQ of Evan Mobley, but, for him in the overtime period, scored 9 of your 12 points for you guys. What does it say for him to have that big of a stage and be able to perform at that level at his age as well?
I mean, you don't want to take it for granted, but I'm not surprised. Whatever our team has needed in moments to go help win a game, Evan's proved that he's capable of doing it. You know, that's a credit to him, but it's also a credit to his teammates and their belief in him and their ability to get him the ball in the right spots. But he's just not afraid. You know, there's nothing that you put in front of him that rattles him. And we've said it time and time again, he just wants to win and he's willing to do whatever it takes.
Thank you.
Last one, Evan.
Evan Damerel, Facebook News. JB, you mentioned to us, despite the loss to Philly, you noticed that Evan was really adapting and growing and learning how to play through contact and learning how to deal with physicality. Did you see a lot of that firsthand? Because he was getting played pretty hard by Denver, especially down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you allow him to play in space, you're going to have a hard time, right? If you allow him to use his speed and quickness and his footwork, you're going to have a really hard time guarding him. So people are just going to be physical with him. They're just going to start banging him and hitting him more. But, you know, what you see is he's adapting. And now he's the one who's drawing the initial contact to knock them back. And that gives him the strength and the power to go finish.
And one last more for me. Lauri is really on a hot streak shooting as of late. Is there anything that you guys have worked on in practice just to kind of get him more comfortable just in the different roles? I mean, he's playing small forward at some points. He's defending center some nights. Like, he's looked great. What have you guys done to kind of get him in the right groove?
I mean, I think he's just catching his rhythm. You know, this whole year, you know, it's been in and out, up and down for him. We know what Lauri's capable of. Lauri's a hell of a basketball player. And, you know, all we want to do is give him an opportunity to be the best version of himself and give him as much confidence as we possibly can to go out and be his best self. And I think that's what you're seeing right now.
Perfect. Thank you.